Should you be using a shower oil? And if so, how do you go about incorporating it into your skincare routine? Well, hey guys, with the rise in popularity of the everything shower, I have seen a lot of comments here on YouTube, over on TikTok. Do we really need to be using a shower oil? Please discuss the use of shower oils. Shower oils are, well, oils that you apply to the skin around showering, whether before you get in or after you get out, with the purpose of helping to maintain moisture, reduce dryness, and hopefully mitigate potentially irritating side effects that come with bathing, especially as it relates to the use of surfactants in soaps, body washes, shampoos, cleansers, etc., along with the drying impacts one might experience if you live somewhere, such as I do, with hard water. Hard water can be disruptive to skin's moisture barrier. It can interact with certain surfactants that can be very disruptive to your moisture barrier, and the end result is more transepidermal water loss, meaning the exodus of moisture from your skin with dryness, irritation, and symptoms of this include redness, itch, flakiness. Check out my recent video on how to heal skin irritation. I give a lot of tips and tricks in that video and point out things that can lead to irritation that you may not even realize. Shower oils are thought to leave behind a protective film on the skin surface that helps with reducing transepidermal water loss related to bathing. Shower oils are really no different in terms of their formulation, their constitution, in comparison to a bath oil. The main difference is that a bath oil can be added directly to the water, whereas a shower oil, that's going to be very hard to do, although nowadays we have all of these shower head attachments in the realm of skincare, so that might be something coming down the pipeline. Honestly, a lot of the research around the usage of oils in bathing comes from research on people who have atopic dermatitis. And the vast majority of cases of skin irritation from personal care products focused around cleanliness and hygiene can be traced to cleansers, body washes, things that contain surfactants that can be disruptive to the lipids in our skin and drive that irritation. The idea around using an oil in the shower or before you step into the shower or afterwards is to mitigate some of those negative effects surrounding, in particular, surfactants in cleansing products. Now, that being said, many cleansing products, especially body washes, are already formulated with oils, with moisturizing ingredients to combat these negative impacts of surfactants on the skin. Clinical studies show that in both children and adults with dry skin, using a bath oil, which again, very similar to a shower oil, using a bath oil regularly can help reduce skin dryness as well as improve transepidermal water loss and improve barrier function and reduce the loss of natural moisturizing factors. As a reminder, natural moisturizing factors are present as part of skin's outermost layer, and they work to retain water, hydration. Many people with underlying dry skin conditions, they lose natural moisturizing factors, and that predisposes them to more water loss. Also with age, we have a decline in the production of natural moisturizing factors along with a decline in overall barrier function. By putting an oil on the skin before you get into the shower, it kind of helps, in theory, form somewhat of a protective shield against the negative impact that bathing has on the skin barrier. However, the issue is that oils are not really perfect moisturizers, and they don't give a consistent layer of protective effect. They are largely emollients intended to soften dry skin. So their impact on the skin barrier with relation to showering is variable. There are plenty of different types of oils on the market that you can buy with variable success in terms of helping with maintenance of skin barrier integrity. Some, however, can actually aggravate the skin barrier and heighten the risk of skin irritancy. Probably one of the best bets in terms of utilizing an oil with relation to bathing is mineral oil. Mineral oil is the main player in baby oil. Mineral oil is semi-occlusive and penetrates down a little bit into the stratum corneum. That's that most differentiated outermost dead layer that is like the shell. Mineral oil can trickle down there and it can help form a semi-occlusive barrier to reduce transepidermal water loss and help with barrier integrity. Using mineral oil with bathing has been shown to reduce transepidermal water loss and help offset the negative effects of bathing on the skin barrier. The reason I like mineral oil so much is that not only is it semi-occlusive, but it's also inert, meaning your immune system does not interact with it. This is especially important for patients who have an impaired skin barrier, who have atopic dermatitis. They have an increased risk of developing sensitivities and allergies to things that come in contact with the skin. Mineral oil is one of the, if not the safest oil that could be applied to the skin for those patients. Furthermore, it is very stable. It does not degrade, it does not oxidize, it's not going to go rancid. In contrast, this is an issue one might run into with vegetable oils. This is a big reason why I do not advocate going into your kitchen and getting a cooking oil and using it in skincare, because it can break down and become irritating. It also might harbor pathogens that can be problematic for the skin. Speaking of vegetable oils certainly can be beneficial. Again, I suggest choosing one from a skincare product line, because these are often formulated with ingredients that help to stabilize the oil, making it safe for use on the skin. 17 different vegetable oils have been examined, have been reviewed for their use as therapeutics for various inflammatory skin conditions. And some can be well tolerated, not only on the skin, but also on inflamed skin and help with barrier function, whereas others can worsen things for patients. Vegetable oils that are high in unsaturated fatty acids, namely oleic acid. This is olive oil, mustard seed oil, can be very disruptive to the skin barrier. These oils are actually penetration enhancers, meaning they disrupt the orientation of the lipids in your skin, worsen transepidermal water loss, but in kind of disrupting things, allow for enhanced penetration of things. So it's not to say that if you come across a skincare product that has, say, olive oil in it, it's a bad product by default. It may be that the olive oil is actually helping some of the other ingredients get into the skin better. However, I don't recommend using olive oil or mustard seed oil for bathing purposes, for moisturizing the skin purposes, because by themselves they actually can worsen dryness and irritation, and also enhance penetration of potentially irritating things. And for people who have atopic dermatitis, this can really be problematic, because at baseline these are issues they already are struggling with. They're going after the oil in an effort to mitigate barrier issues, and these oils will make things worse, or can make things worse, I should say. In contrast, oils that are high in linoleic acids, such as sunflower seed oil, or are high in saturated fatty acids, namely coconut oil, have a track record of being beneficial for patients who have atopic dermatitis, especially. And again, that's kind of, all of this research is going to be largely done in those patients, because they have this barrier issue that we're trying to get ahead of as it relates to bathing. Furthermore, these oils, coconut oil and sunflower seed oil, show promise for decreasing the burden of Staphylococcus bacteria on the skin, Staph aureus bacteria. And if you know anything about atopic dermatitis, because they have an impaired skin barrier, the lesions of atopic skin can easily become colonized with staph bacteria that can further aggravate the atopic dermatitis. Patients with atopic dermatitis are predisposed to a bacterial skin infection with staph bacteria called impetigo. And so research suggests that, like coconut oil, sunflower seed oil, not only do they help reduce the dry skin, but they may have some antimicrobial properties to them that help with the burden of staph bacteria. Then there are some other oils out there that have been examined here and there in research studies and show promise for atopic dermatitis. Not rigorously studied by any means, but certainly not anything to say, oh no, this could never work. Include evening primrose oil, jojoba oil, and sweet almond oil. And you'll notice out there in moisturizers that these oils pop up. Sweet almond oil is frequently added to stuff. Evening primrose oils and a lot of moisturizers for atopic dermatitis definitely has been shown to be beneficial for eczema management in small studies. Coconut oil actually is a really good moisturizing option for those who have atopic dermatitis. It was shown to be as good as one of my favorites, mineral oil. It's just as good as mineral oil for atopic dermatitis. Now, I point that out because I'm always going to be on the side of recommending things like mineral oil, petrolatum, basic, inert, no-nonsense ingredients. A lot of people are not interested in using those things. They want to do something more on the natural side. I would be remiss to not mention coconut oil. That appeals to a lot of people. And when it comes to atopic dermatitis, consistent moisturizing is necessary. It is necessary. It helps cut down on flares, and it helps cut down on the need for topical steroids. Similarly, sunflower seed oil and argan oil have been shown to be beneficial for atopic dermatitis in terms of reducing transepidermal water loss and increasing skin hydration. Another oil that I think is a great option if you can come by it, it may be something that you find in a bath oil, is oat kernel oil. Oats have a long-standing track record of benefit for people who have issues with their skin barrier. Oats have anti-inflammatory compounds, they have barrier protective properties, they have antioxidants. Oat kernel oil also has antihistamine properties that may be helpful for calming down itch and inflammation. What I want to point out here though is that the research regarding the benefits of using oils around bathing, whether it be showering or taking a bath in a tub, the research that we have on oils is small, it's limited, and there's discrepancy. Some research says makes a difference, other research studies show no difference. So for that reason, there are a lot of differences in recommendations in terms of the professional guidelines. Here in the US, that's not part of our guidelines. That's not to say that if you have atopic dermatitis and you go to a dermatologist here, they're not gonna suggest you use a bath oil. It's just not studied to the extent where it is like a established, firm, yes, patients should absolutely be doing this. So, should you use a shower oil? The answer is, it depends. If you feel like you want to, by all means, give it a try. Who might benefit the most? People who have dry skin that's prone to irritation, especially as it relates to bathing. As you get into your wiser years and barrier function starts to decline, you may find that this is a bathing practice that benefits you. I will caution, however, that when you use a shower or bath oil, depending if you're in a shower or bathe, I guess, be very careful. You know, you're going to, in the case of a shower, you're going to apply it to the skin and you're going to step in the shower. Make sure you don't slip and fall. Oils make things slippery. You don't want to slip and fall. Be really careful in that regard. I would suggest putting it on before you get into the shower. In theory, you have some barrier protection on board to offset the impact of showering. Alternatively, when you get out of the shower or tub, you can apply an oil to the skin if you want. Now, I pointed this out at the beginning of the video. I point it out often. Oils are not really the best way to moisturize because they're not as good as a moisturizer in terms of reducing transepidermal water loss. So for me, I always just find an oil can be a little bit, depending on the purpose, a little bit unnecessary, redundant. You know, I think getting out of the shower, just apply a moisturizer. People are like, well, how about put an oil on and then a moisturizer? You can do that, but is it really adding much? Possibly adding some anti-inflammatory compounds, some antioxidants directly to the skin that may help with healing. I just don't have good studies to support that idea. So it's not bad to do, but it's also not an essential. You can derive benefits in terms of reducing transepidermal water loss after bathing and improving moisture retention, hydration, reducing dry skin by just applying a moisturizer to the skin. An oil instead of a moisturizer, I think, is definitely suboptimal because, like I said, oils are not the best at reducing transepidermal water loss in comparison to a moisturizer formulated with emollients, occlusives, and humectants. For me personally, do I use a shower oil? It depends. I have atopic dermatitis. I use a shower oil if I have a lot of water-resistant sunscreen on my body, because I find that the shower oil applied to these areas where I have a lot of sunscreen before getting in the shower, I find it helps the sunscreen come off more easily. Water-resistant sunscreen, you know, it's designed to form a film. You get in the shower, sometimes you notice the water beating up on the surface of the skin. You kind of have to scrub it away. That can be very irritating to your skin. I find a little bit of an oil before stepping in the shower helps with that. The other scenario where I like to use oils, whether it be before or after the shower, is if I have flaky skin. Oils do help with the shedding of mounds of those dry, dead keratinocytes that you get clumped together in flakes, help to gently exfoliate without agitating the skin barrier. So that's another situation. All that to say, a shower oil definitely can be beneficial, potentially. Is it necessary? No. Other things you can do besides a shower oil to offset the negative impacts of bathing on the skin is to limit your shower to no more than 10 minutes. Don't stay in there for hours and hours. Keep the water temperature lukewarm, not very hot, not very cold. Use a Syndet bar like Dove or a body wash rather than a true soap like Ivory soap, for example, Irish Spring, for example, as these cleansing bars and body washes are not only formulated with moisturizing ingredients, but also are formulated to be much gentler on the skin. Consider only using body wash and soap to areas that are visibly soiled, as well as in the skin folds, like under the arms. When you get out of the shower, just pat dry the skin ever so slightly so it's not like dripping wet, and then immediately apply moisturizer. These habits can also correct dry skin without you needing necessarily to buy and use a body oil. Is there a body oil I recommend? The one that I use is the Neutrogena body oil. You can add it to bath water, you can put it on your skin before you get in the shower. They make one with fragrance and one without. I use the fragrance-free one, which I would suggest, especially if you have atopic dermatitis, because again, people who have atopic dermatitis are more predisposed to becoming allergic to things like fragrance. Alternatively, the other thing that I would recommend is just plain mineral oil that you can get in the laxative section. You could use baby oil if you like the fragrance of it, but again, if you have atopic dermatitis, you have to be aware of the fact that the fragrance may be more of an issue for you. But you can buy plain mineral oil in the laxative section, because if you ingest it, it will make you go to the bathroom. I don't suggest doing that unless you're constipated, and in which case discuss with your healthcare provider. But it can be applied to the skin. All right, you guys, that's everything I wanted to talk with you about with regards to using a shower oil. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you find beneficial in your hygiene body care routine. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.